Very good morning, everyone. So this is our 8th session on current affairs. Today we will be covering the pending topics of emerging technologies. The first set of topics we covered in the last class. Let's get started. First topic is extended reality. What is extended reality? Give me a brief heading. What is tell me the difference between virtual reality and augmented reality? This was a prelims question, right? Which year? 2019. What is the difference between augmented and virtual reality? Give me some guess. Don't read from there.
3D visual is basically created in front of the 2D space, and in virtual reality, you kind of get into that, you wear something in which you can get into that environment.
Virtual reality is like fully immersive. Like it doesn't have any relation with the original reality or physical reality that you are existing. You put this virtual reality glass, everything you see will be digital space or digital world, that kind of a universe. On the other hand, augmented reality is what? You are present in the system, you will take inputs from the system. If I am wearing augmented reality glass, I may still see you all around, but there will be add-ons. There may be digital character, there may be digital XYZ add-ons to this, whichever the experience you are having. So if you are mixing it with reality and real experience, that is categorized as augmented reality. If it is completely digital space, then it is categorized as virtual reality. Mixed reality is you are somewhere lying in between all of this. Now what is extended reality? This is a collective term which represents all of this. Whether it is virtual, mixed, or whatever it is, a collective term for all this is called extended reality. Go ahead. Why we are learning extended reality and all? There has been a recent program started, extended reality startup program. Who started this? Meta and Ministry of Electronics and IT. Meta means which company? It's a parent company of Facebook. So these two come together to form a extended reality startup program. What does it contains? Any startup program contains the same thing. It will be having a selection, how different startups will be selected, then incubation will be provided, then scaling up opportunities will be XYZ will be provided to these selected startups. Around 40 startups will be selected in the first stage, and they will be given assistance to scale up in this extended reality sector. What can come in the exam? Either something related to technological part of extended reality, or direct question of who is associated with this, or maybe a statement will be given by changing this ministry or changing the company and all. Go ahead. So let's come to the next topic. What is Metaverse? How you are going to study any new technology? Like extended reality is a new technology. We have discussed this PYQs. What kind of questions are coming? That time we also told this. How you should approach any new technology? Should have very clarity on what is the definition, what is XYZ technology. That is one thing. Secondly, where the questions are coming? If a new technology is there which you cannot get from the name, like we will see doxing is there. What is doxing? You may not be knowing from the name. In that question, that kind of topics, you may get 4 options. You have to select what exactly doxing. That's a type of questions. Only this, what it is only important. Maybe few examples also. Otherwise, metaverse is, you will never get a question what it is. Question will be some statements on its characteristics. So any technology you are studying, you understand what it is, then at least 5-7 key features of this. What are the defining features of XYZ technology? You look most of the PYQs, if you list down at least 5 characteristics for most technology, questions or statements are made from these only. Totally unrelated questions are very less coming. Otherwise, key features, that will be something tilted. Some conceptual relation will be there with these key features of any technology in the statement. Let's see what is metaverse. Tell me what is the definition of this, or tell me what it means.
Virtual space where you can create even a dead person. He can come.
It is convergence of physical and virtual reality. What is the difference between extended reality? What is more in this? Extended reality is a limited thing. You wear the glass, you wear something like that, then you have some experience, some add-on experience you have, then finish it there. Metaverse is like a new form of internet. You are trying to create a totally new digital space where everything is which you see physically is will be having some kind of form. Like your experiences, your senses, all your existence will have some kind of digital XYZ identity in this. So it is much broader concept, metaverse. Virtual reality is only like a technology, only a technological part of this. Metaverse is going much beyond that. Fully immersive, persistent, interactive experience combines virtual augmented realities and could revolutionize XYZ sectors, gaming, social media, everything digital space we are entertaining or enjoying today will be can be completely revolutionized by metaverse. Let's see what are the basic features of this. Immersive means you may be totally cut off from the world. You may have digital presence, only digital presence will be there. All these experience. Interactive, it is like self-explanatory. Real-time interaction will be there. Persistent means persistent. Persistent here means like in internet, if you have own a website, you make a changes, what will happen? Throughout the world, whoever access that website, the change will be reflected. So this is like a totally different digital space. Here you go and make any individual user, go and make any changes. That change will permanently reflected throughout the system. It is not an individual, your home basic like. It is having persistent characteristic. 3D means self-explanatory. Open platform means source code will be openly provided. What is the advantage of this? Anybody can design new characters, anybody can design new apps, platforms, etc. Scalable environment is there. Decentralized network, all these are self-explanatory. We are not discussing too much. If you are watching online, you can pause the video and go through this. Customizable cross-platform technology is there. All these are fundamental characteristics of metaverse. What you should keep in mind is, if you get a statement, if this is some idea that is against decentralization, then you should understand that this can be a wrong statement, because decentralization is one of the key features of metaverse. Otherwise, whole technology we are seeing today is going towards more and more centralization. Go ahead. Any issues? Now tell me difference between metaverse and virtual reality. Metaverse is open, shared, virtual 3D spaces where users explore, interact, content with other digital avatars. While virtual reality is technology for creating 3D elements. It's exactly what is told. This is much broader concept. Why this is just a technology or path to achieve this metaverse. Users have complete ownership of their data. This is example of decentralization. Brand owns this virtual reality XYZ. Data is also owned by XYZ companies. Metaverse draws support from all these technologies. You can understand all this, self-explanatory. Users access to a wide range of experiences. Limited access will be there to your whatever experiences you are having. Metaverse is a shared and persistent world. It is a user stops. What does this mean? We have talked about persistence. Virtual reality is not persistent. What does that mean? Suppose you have a virtual glass, you have a digital virtual space you created your own. Now you make the changes, that doesn't get reflected anywhere. It is only in your virtual space. Metaverse is more like integrated. You make any changes, it will be reflected, like your character will be changing. Like for best relevance is, take the case of a website. You change it, you change the whole world, the character of it. Similar characteristics is for metaverse. Whatever option you get, think of metaverse as something more integrated space and something in terms of a much bigger internet. Internet is only you are accessing through data. Here you are accessing through your character, emotions, all this will be coming into place. Go ahead. What is Web 3.0? I think we have discussed this in current affairs class. What is it? Basic idea, what is it? Decentralized internet. That is exact definition of Web 3.0. We have PYQs also, right? Last year. At least if you know it is a decentralized form of internet, it's much easier to answer those questions. Web 3.0, what it is? Today, what is the internet issues internet is facing? Most of the data is controlled by five companies. Which are they? Google, Apple, Meta, and all this, Amazon. All these four companies are combinedly controlling all the data space. So Web 3.0 is some kind of an advancement over it. You give user more individuality, you give user more control of his or her data. That is the objective of Web 3.0. It uses blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, the data acquisition, NFTs. NFTs we discussed, right? All these technologies it will be using. What is DEFI? Digital finance technology. All these Google Pay or whatever payment systems we are seeing today, applicable throughout the web. Whereas Metaverse is completely a different concept. It is more about immersive experience, virtual reality, and all this. You should at least be able to conceptually differentiate between Metaverse and Web 3.0. Go ahead. What is 3D printing? This is also called additive manufacturing. This also we discussed earlier, I guess. What is it? 3D printing? Prototype manufacturing is not the objective of 3D printing. You're printing houses also with 3D printers. You're printing organs also with 3D printers. Prototype making is not the objective. You can make prototype, but that is not 3D printing is. Tell me what it is. Give me more ideas. You have something to add? How it prints? IR 4.0, it is a part of it, that's all correct. How it works, tell me. Suppose I need to print this phone, what will I do in 3D printing? I create a software model of this, done, then? Whatever CAD model I make, I slice this. I slice this into very micro layers. Then what my printer does? It is only printing one layer at a time. One layer may be this much of plastic, this much of metal, this much of copper, this much of chip. Whatever subject is, first you disintegrate it into multiple something like this. You have to print this object, you make this, this is the CAD version or software version of this object. Now then next step is slicing this object, digital object, into very thin layers. Now printing happens means one by one layers is being implemented. These layers may have different material. These layers can have different shapes also. Some layers maybe this part is not printed, so you will get a hollow structure. Something like that. Then by accumulating these layers, at the end of it you get the final XYZ you are getting. There is a basic 3D printing technology. It's also called additive manufacturing. All these are different technologies that is being used. Rest you can read this. The objective of putting 3D printing is not to teach 3D printing. This is, from UPSC perspective, still quite an old technology. It's not something totally new. Important is now advancing into 4D printing. What is 4D printing? Tell me what advancement it can have? What dimension it can have? Normal printing on paper means it's two-dimensional. Now we are moving into, we have created something like you can create any three-dimensional object into it. So it becomes 3D. Now what is 4D? What is the next dimension you can add? Basically time is the next dimension you can feed into it. And how time comes into play? You get a 3D printer or whatever 3D printing, you done these all steps. Same steps you will do here also, but only difference is this material use will be smart material. What does smart material means? What is smart material? Physical, taking some signals, it can change its shape. And what the signals can be? It can be electricity, it can be thermal. Some objects changes shapes with increasing temperature. Some input it can take and change its shape XYZ. So these kind of material if you use, you can make it applicable for different applications. So adding this one more dimension that is included in 4D printing. Your product is not finished at the printing stage. Even after the printing stage, you get some stimulus, it will again change its shape. These all are different methods, 3D versus 4D printing. One extra dimension is added. Baki sub process same hai, you are using smart material, and when the application of this, one extra layer will be also part of this, depending upon whatever material you use. Go ahead. What is black? Now we have so many small technologies. These kind of technologies, how you study? You should just know what XYZ it is. Tell me what is Blackfrog technology? Anyone can guess? If you are watching online, just comment below what is Blackfrog technology. What is it? Blackfrog Technologies opens medical device manufacturing unit in Manipal. What it's related to? Startup developing patented technologies to improve immunization supply chain. What does it mean? You have to transport COVID-19 vaccines. This has to be transported at XYZ temperatures. This has to be kept in such environment. If suppose in some path this environment cannot be kept, what will happen? Its efficacy will be lost. Doctors may still doesn't know it and still use it on patients. It will be totally ineffective. These kind of things can happen. So this technology will give a foolproof approach. They will be using same technologies what we have, like GPS will be there, sensors will be there, all these things will be compiled. So some system will be developed to improve this transportation of vaccines and other medical equipments in a foolproof way. What is the name of technology? Blackfrog Technology. Go ahead. What is all this? Bluesnarfing, Bluejacking, and last one is Bluebugging. What is this? All blue are same thing. Bluesnarfing means attack on your computers for access to your files is the objective. All these are cyber attacks. In Bluesnarfing, what is the objective? To get access to your files. Maybe your files is not the objective, but to get access to those files is objective. What is Bluejacking? This is an example of phishing messages, unsolicited phishing messages. Spam your device with some XYZ messages, take the info from these messages. All these are objective of Bluejacking. And last one is Bluebugging. What is Bluebugging? That is completely a spy aspect for spying on whatever XYZ software is used, what messages are being sent. All these cyber attacks are called Bluebugging. At least all this blue you should relate something to. It is all something related to recent cyber attacks. Which one? All these through will be Bluetooth connection. That's why blue is there everywhere. All these are through Bluetooth connections. Go ahead. D2M technology. What is D2M technology? Direct to mobile technology. Now direct to mobile technology means what it can include? Give me guesses. Direct to mobile, what is, give me an example of something that you are getting direct to mobile. Payment system. Best example is FM radio. What FM radio is doing? There will be some frequencies, radio signals will be broadcasted, and your phone will have one antenna to catch these signals. Now without paying anything, your antenna will catch and you can enjoy whatever it is. And what is the frequency ranges for this? You hear something like 91.9, 91, 96.3, something like that. What does this mean? This much of megahertz is the frequency range for that XYZ radio channel. Now, what will happen if this same technology can transmit videos? In FM radio, only audio signals are being transmitted. Now, what is the application or possibilities when same technology is used to transmit video signals? That is case for D2M technology. Now, video signal means more data transfer should happen. So, this wavelengths, these frequencies will not work. You need higher frequencies. 526 to 582 megahertz is the talked frequencies here. You need higher frequency for higher transmission of data. What else? What is the application of this? Remote location, access to XYZ sources or content in the remote locations. Basically, we have so many OTT platforms now. Give me some examples. Netflix is there, Amazon Prime is there. So if we can, how we access these OTT platforms? Through internet. Now if you are watching a movie, all your data will be drained and you will not be having any data. If you can shift these OTT platforms to something like D2M technology, then you can access this content even without having internet. Even doesn't the need for having internet. That is the XYZ technology top D, direct to mobile technology. This is not implemented, this is still in talking process or researching process. What is a major challenge? This is something new. You have to bring this current ecosystem into this. Current ecosystem means mobile operators, then these OTT operators, all this should come for this change, accept this change. Then only there is possibility of making this transition. Government is promoting this. Government is promoting this, Prasar Bharati and all, they can transmit these signals through these, and also government is okay with this. Private sector, if they come together, this can be very good revolutionary technology going ahead. Move ahead. Idea is your phone should have a much better receiving antenna. Rest everything XYZ features, if a statement you see related with FM radio. Only difference is the frequency band will be much higher. Go ahead. What is Bharat OS? So also called BOS. What is it? India based operating system. What all questions can come? It is made by JNK Operations Private Limited. This is a private startup company incubated in IIT Madras. What else? What all question can come from this? What is key features of Bharat OS? Tell me. Pretty sure most of you might have heard this. This was like promoted by minister and all newspapers were covering this. Tell me, what is the key features of Bharat OS? Is it based on Android or Windows? It is based on Android open source project. This is not completely, they are not building OS from the scratch. They are taking the base of the Android and building something over it. So this will be in processing, it will be very much in line to whatever Android we are seeing today. This is one thing. Second, what is the main feature India is highlighting in Bharat OS? Royalty cost. Royalty cost can come into picture, but this is not the highlighted feature of BharatOS. What government was saying, like today, which operating system we have? Either iOS is there or Android is there. Now there is a user concern whether this mobile, how much your personal data is they are taking. Personal data means where you are going. You are walking from here and there, Google will still know. Whatever you are doing, this all personal data are being, even though they are saying they are already giving you user agreement, you are giving you all these updates of whatever data you are collecting, you can even go and delete this. Despite having all this legal XYZ, there is concern among citizens how much of my data is still online or how much is me controlled by this online XYZ. Now, this is something BharatOS is trying to highlight. And how it is trying to highlight this? One thing, it will not have no pre-installed apps. Every app you have to come and install. Then there will be no high level of safety. There will be no data that will be transmitted to third parties or no data collection that is happening without your interference. Security is the most highlighted feature of BharatOS. What should be your approach in statement if there is a statement in line with security, heightened security, some statement like that is there, even if you don't know correct aspects of it, you should take this as correct statement. If any statement is there which you perceive as, if this is implemented, then security features may go down. Some of your access point are provided openly in BharatOS, something like that is there in the statement. You should perceive it as wrong statement because that is not in line with that key idea of BharatOS, whatever it is. Now, what is some challenges BharatOS will face or currently facing? Advantage is this, security. You get much safer ecosystem. Thing is, Google will provide this open source Google project base to build the OS. But this base, whatever you build, it will not have Play Store. Play Store will cannot be accessed from Google OS. If you want to make a Play Store, make your own Play Store. BharatOS will have to make its own Play Store. No, that is not something feasible, or it cannot compete with Google at the present stage. Google is having legacy and total control over this. That is one. But there is a loophole in this. What is that? Even if it doesn't have Play Store, it can install APK files. What is APK files? You download the app into your device. This APK file can be installed in BharatOS. That way you can access whatever apps there is in the Play Store. But what is the issue with this? If you are directly installing from Windows or a Play Store, that have some safety standards, that will not have virus, bugs and all these kind of things to great extent. But APK files, there is no trust factor. It can contain malicious softwares which it doesn't know. Somebody who downloaded this added the XYZ virus into APK file, it's very difficult for the user to know. So this is having a file base or having an app base is not feasible for BharatOS or very difficult for BharatOS. Can you think of any other challenges? Tell me. Exactly. Android, every new phone is coming with Android. If iOS is, Apple is not there, every other most phone is coming with this software only. So you have a base. Here, it still doesn't have a base, like doesn't come with, no phones are coming with BharatOS, one. Secondly, if I have an Android phone, I want to shift this BharatOS. Shifting operating system of a phone is a very sophisticated business. If it is done wrongly, it can completely destroy the phone. So that is very risky business. So there is no still any guidelines how exactly will there be any option to shift to BharatOS, or will there be any XYZ procedure I should follow to have this shifting. All these are unclear or not available right now. So the applicability of BharatOS currently is limited to not testing, education institutes, government institute. or those private institutes where data security is that much important. These kind of applications BharatOS is right now promoted. Coming into completely into mobile and competing with Google, that still takes time, or technology need to mature much more for that. That also, this can be open source. So these charges and all user charges, app development charges, all this can be better advantages of this. Go ahead. What is true random number generator? What is random number means? I'm making some number series 4, 9, 4, 21, 46, 3. When it become random, there is no way I could predict next number. There is no way whatever you do, but there is absolutely no way I could exactly predict the next number. Then it is called random number. Now whatever random number generators you have now, how it is generating these random numbers? Whatever, there are so many applications for random number generators in Play Store also, everywhere you would see. How they are generating these random numbers? They are using some algorithms, right? Now whichever algorithm you use, make it as complicated as you can. Still that can be reverse engineered. Still that can be decoded or decrypted back, and you can get some XYZ formula to get this, remove the randomness of whatever series you are saying. That's why any random generator that is produced from algorithm, that is called as pseudo random numbers. Even though looking it looks like random numbers, but if you dig really deep, there can be an option to non-randomize it. Now what is solution for this? Instead of algorithm, you remove algorithm with physical processes. What kind of physical processes? Where it went? Okay. What kind of physical processes you associate this with? Associate with those physical processes where there is no way that is truly happening randomly. There is absolutely no way to predict that XYZ event. Get those events and generate number based on those events. Then if you do that, there is absolutely no way you can decrypt it, because this XYZ physical process is no way coded. This is happening in reality, so there is absolutely no way you, anyway, whatever algorithm you apply, it cannot be decrypted. So this is what is done in true random number generator. It is also called HRNG, that is hardware random number generator. What are these processes? Physical process, it can include noise signals, thermal noise, photoelectric effect involving beam splitter, quantum, some kind of quantum phenomena. If you use this kind of, there is mathematically no way to predict these events. So whatever your output you are getting, that will be truly random. Go ahead. What is cryptojacking? Cryptojacking is also some kind of hacking. Only difference is hackers usually come to you for your information, either for your data or your OTP numbers or XYZ. Cryptojackers are not coming for your data, they are not interested in your data. What they are coming for? Not exactly cryptocurrencies also. Suppose I have a mobile or laptop. This has mining, exactly. This has some RAM. Cryptojackers will come and install their application in this. I will not even know this. And my phone's RAM, ROM, whatever it is, it will be used for mining the XYZ cryptocurrency. My resources will be used for mining cryptocurrency. So getting access to your resources is the objective of cryptojacking. How you identify this? Best way is your device will lose all the speed. If you are like that much of speed is lost, then you can think it is having some cryptojackers with it. Go ahead. Iota D1. This is also, what kind of questions can come from this? Only question that you should know is what it is. These are all small topics. Big conceptual things we discovered in last class. These all are like small items. What it is? It is a data center in Greater Noida, UP, that is being recently inaugurated by UPCM. It is having a capacity of 1.5 billion for, it is not written here. It is having extremely high capacity. It's basically a data center with high computing facility and like high performance computing facility. Go ahead. What is doxing? What is doxing? Tell me. Anyone can guess? If there is some victim for anything, and I am putting the information of this victim, this is the name of the victim, this is the address of the victim, I am putting all this information online with the objective of harassing the victim. If I am doing that, that process XYZ is called doxing. What is CRIS XPP? All these are small topics. What is CRIS XPP? You can get a clue from this. CRIS may be somewhere related to crystal. Now what it does? What are two different kind of materials? One is crystalline material and amorphous material or non-crystalline materials. What is the difference between these two? Give me examples for this. NaCl is a crystalline material. Why you are calling NaCl crystalline material? Definite structure is there. Like there will be a basic structure, unit cell. Suppose this is unit cell. Now you keep some solid rocks here and here. You make this unit cell. Now replicate this unit cell in infinite directions, you will get huge amount of NaCl. Whatever particles you take from NaCl, it will be having the same structure. This structure, this type of material is called crystalline material. Graphene is an example. What is specialty of graphene? It is a two-dimensional crystalline structure. Diamond is an example. So many examples. And amorphous means there will not be any definite order in arranging the particles. Particles can come here and there anywhere. So this is an example. Give me some examples. Nanomaterials, plastics, plastic materials, all will come in this. Now tell me, what is difficulty in finding properties of crystalline material? So suppose I have one amorphous material, one crystalline material. Reality is amorphous material, whatever properties I can identify very easily. Crystalline material I cannot. I cannot means I can, but it's too difficult. Why? Why is crystalline materials properties identification becomes too difficult? Basically, we are talking about directional properties. Electrical conductance in one direction, two direction, all these directional properties are we are more interested in. How it is impacting? Any guess? Give me some guess. Give me some comments if you are watching online. That is all there. What is the difficulty, fundamental difficulty? See, this is my material structure. This is completely random or completely disorganized. Wherever I go, whichever direction I choose, the number of XYZ material I encounter may be fairly same. Because why? Because it is all random. अगर इधर नहीं मीट किया तो उधर और मीट करेगा. If you put 1000 material in this, I cut it anyway. Number of carbon materials, for example, carbon, number of carbon material I cut will be fairly same in all directions. So finding the properties of this material is very easy. You put it in some thing, some XYZ analyzer, you get this directional properties, that will be same property in all directions. So amorphous material, you get all properties through by finding only one direction. Crystalline mesh, if I cut like this, I can even cut without touching any of this blue. I can cut with touching very few blues. I can cut with touching very huge number of blues. I can touch with only touching this small, whichever atom it is. So in every direction, the number of XYZ any material or bond I need to break will be totally different. And that will be definitive also. It's not random like this. There will be different numbers for in each direction. So whatever conductance I take in one direction, that will be one. Conductance I take in another direction, that will be another. So it's having different properties in all these directions, 360 degree. That's why it's getting exact properties of crystalline material in one direction. Predicting that is very difficult. You can use some physical methods and find the properties. That is doable, but predicting with some equations is very difficult. Now what CRIS XPP does is, it is using mathematical model. By using all these machine learning techniques, it predicts the XYZ properties of crystalline material. Now who does this? IIT Kharagpur and some Korean institute combined. They come together and develop this CRIS XPP. Magnetic properties, elastic properties, these are different properties we are talking about. Got it? Go ahead. What is lambda? Natural language processing tool built by basically Google. What it does, what is the difference between lambda and other tools? Give me other examples. ChatGPT is based on GPT. GPT-3 is the basic tool for developing this ChatGPT. Now what is the difference between ChatGPT and lambda? ChatGPT is text generator. Its main objective is, you ask question, you will get a typed answer. Generating that text is the objective of GPT-3, not ChatGPT. Any XYZ that is developed on GPT-3. Now lambda's objective is totally different. Lambda's objective, you are talking to a real person. You have to give real like answers. Not written answers, but speaking answers, dialogue. Dialogue is the key characteristics of lambda. Now what Google is saying, they already achieved some kind of peak level in this. They are saying that lambda started saying that they have emotions, they have fear. They started recognizing what they are. There is some data which is not fed to them. Suppose lambda, what lambda is not fed to them. They even started understanding it. They even started communicating emotions. So then they created some issues. So there were some ethical and other issues associated with this. Even ChatGPT is creating issues. It told some recently, this was in newspaper. So some papers, your wife don't love you, go and get divorced. Give some answers like this after chatting for 1 hour or so. So even ChatGPT is doing this, then some dialogue processor can go to more extreme levels. Now both these are developed based on transformer technology. This is a base technology for all this language process, whether it is lambda or GPT-3 and all. Now there is another application, that is BERT. BERT. It is not BART, it is BERT. What it is? It is to understand vague phrases. Then lambda is for dialogue. Last class also I told, what is difference between AI and human brain, or machine brain and human brain? What is difference? Fundamental difference is, there is so much things human brain can do very smart. Give me an example. That is one best example is understanding vague phrases. Even if I make a ऐसे कुछ expression, anyone sitting in the front may exactly identify what I thinking or what my expression is. But identifying my vague expression for a machine, that is very difficult. That's why we are needing for all this. Now, what is the advantage of machines? Give it a mathematical calculation. It will solve within seconds, not even seconds it will solve. Whatever tough numbers you give to do anything, mathematical expression, it will solve within minutes or seconds, not even seconds. But brain cannot have that much speed in mathematical applications. So both have different advantages. Now these XYZ functions of the brain, like self-learning or towards understanding vague phrases, generating personalized solutions, understanding emotions, all these abilities which brain can do, machines are acquiring. This is what we call it as artificial intelligence. Go ahead. What is Google's answer to this ChatGPT? At least what is the name of it? Not Lambda. Lambda is totally different language process. ChatGPT there's coming something with Bard. That's still not released. It may come sooner. Go ahead. What is small modular reactors? What is nuclear reactors? Which nuclear process is happening inside nuclear reactor? Nuclear fission. Fission means bigger nucleus will be there, something like uranium or plutonium or something, thorium, something like that. Basic idea is it should be a very big nucleus. Why big? Then it is unstable. If it is a small nucleus, it's not unstable. You cannot go and break that small nucleus. If it is a big, it's already an unstable nucleus. Then you give some neutrons into it. That nucleus will split into two. Then there will be release of energy that will be used for doing all these processes. Now that is a nuclear reactor. Now most of the nuclear reactor, what we issue is, there are very huge reactors. Very huge means there will be so much area needed, so much XYZ, everything needed. That reactors are conventional are more than 700 megawatt power. Now modular reactor means there is a miniature version of this, having a capacity of up to 300 megawatt power. Nearly just more than 2 times, less than half times of this normal reactor, we are making a smaller reactors. What is application of this? Just making smaller is not the application. How you make this reactor? You cannot take it out as parts. It comes together, it's all bulky. Even installation take years. Kudankulam plant, you can see its installation was going on for years and years. Which country in association with it is based? Russia. So this was going for years. These are like you can buy these small parts, different parts. Now you get all these parts, then assemble it here, then you get a nuclear reactor. So the building process of nuclear reactor, that is made much easy. One is smaller, second is you build part by part and then assemble it, then you get the XYZ reactor. So the whole process become much more easier. There is a micro reactor concept also, that is for 10 megawatt power. That is still in process. This much is still developments are going on aggressively. This is called small modular reactors. What can questions come? Maybe a question can come on power, or maybe some other technology will be, hydro technology will be related to it. Some statements can come, micro hydro plants, it is something like that. Reactor is there, so no, India have all big plans only. Otherwise research. India has installed it, okay. No, it's still on, process is going on. Go ahead. Nuclear fusion, some interesting development has happened. What happened? Positive energy has been created. Some Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California achieved net energy from nuclear fusion. What does that mean? What is nuclear fusion? Two small nucleus. Like in case of In case of what? In case of nuclear fusion, we were talking about big nucleus. Here, some very, very small nucleus, they come together and fuse into form a bigger nuclei. Now, how these nucleus will come together? Where hydrogen is there, it is positively charged. Another nuclear means it is also positively charged. Even if you then put them in together, they will repel each other with electromagnetic field. Now, something is repelling each other, you have to like make them come together at nucleus level. That means it should be at that much close level, it should come and hit. If that is to be happen, two things should be happen. You need extremely high temperature, you need extremely high pressure, then only there will be particles coming and hitting at nuclear levels. Now what happens when this much temperature and this much pressure is there? To create even this temperature and pressure, you need to give so much of energy. So out of this, what you get will be microless. So that's why all the plants which we are having today is energy negative plants, nuclear fusion plants. Even though you have succeeded in conducting the fusion, generating energy was not happening. So this is a great advancement. They have produced more energy than they have given to create these XYZ conditions. What more? These are deuterium is used, tritium is used, then you are getting a helium and you are getting excess neutron. In this process, heat will be generated that will be used for XYZ electricity generation and all. Go ahead. Carbon dating. What is carbon dating? It's a very easy concept. Tell me what is carbon dating? What is it used to find age of any XYZ? Suppose you got a dinosaur fossil. Suppose you got a dinosaur fossil. How you find its age? How it have got C14? See, how C14 is a normal, what is the atomic number of carbon? 12. Now C14 is normally not found anywhere in the earth. Where it is found? It is only found in atmosphere. How it is being formed in atmosphere? By having sun rays, some energetic sun rays, they get collided, some neutrons will come, they come and hit nitrogen. Then they will produce carbon 14 and one proton. So number of these rays will be fairly constant. Number of nitrogen atoms in the atmosphere is fairly constant. That means number of carbon 14 that is there in the atmosphere is some constancy will be there. Now what happened to this carbon 14? Plants will absorb CO2. Carbon will not stay like this. Carbon cannot stay like this. So it will be converted into CO2 doing oxidation. Now this CO2 plants will absorb. These plants ko sab khata hai. So every animal will have some constant level of carbon 14 in this, because there is no other source anyone can get carbon source. Cannot attract it from soil. If you attract it from soil, you will get only carbon 12. So the amount of particles these XYZ living organism have in their body, carbon 14 will have some ratio or some constant. Now suppose this dinosaur, our dinosaur mar gaya, it died, then what happened? Then it will not be inhaling, it will not be taking any more plants. So whatever its skeleton is remaining, it cannot get more C14. Now C14 has a half-life of around 5,700 years. So if 1 kg is 1 kg is very extreme, I am taking for only knowing the concept. 1 kg was the C14 it had when it died. Now after 5,786 or some years, it will become half kg. So you analyze its fossil. If you found half kg of C14, that means 5,000 some years have elapsed. Now if you find 0.25 kg, means another 5,000 years have gone. If you find again 0.125, means 15,000 years have gone after this fossil has died. So this is the basics of carbon dating. Now carbon is not, it is not required you do only carbon dating. Any radioactive, if you can find some constancy in the material, any radioactive material can be used for dating purposes. It's also called radioactive dating. Uranium is used in some extreme cases and all. Go ahead. Clear? So that's all. So we have fairly completed all these emerging technologies concepts. What is left? Emerging technology is over, space tech is over, astronomical, all these observatories, all these kind of things is over. What is pending is healthcare and biotechnology. That we'll have in next session. Then there we have one more session on miscellaneous, this Nobel Prize and all Nobel Prize related technologies in 2022 recent Nobel Prize. So these two sessions are pending. That's all. Thank you so much.